Tide race sea kayaking is a lot of fun, but like any dynamic water environment, it has some risks and safety issues. In this video, we take a look at the challenges of paddling in these zones and give you tips to stay safe and avoid trouble. The video is taken from our Sea Kayak Essentials instructional series, filmed on the island of Anglesey in the tide races of Penryn Mawr and North Stack. It's a fantastic playground and a great place to develop rough water sea kayaking skills. Following tips will help you make good decisions in dynamic water zones, plan suitable venues, follow safer route choices, and maintain good communications in your paddling team. Remember to take a progressive approach to your adventures, prepare well, and match conditions to your ability.
Tide race paddling is an exciting, dynamic environment, but it's also a challenging location for leaders and groups to paddle safely. It's a place where our safety and problem-solving skills can get a serious examination. This chapter presents leadership strategies to minimize the risk and also demonstrates the application of core safety and rescue skills in rough water. Many of the safety and rescue skills demonstrated here apply to a wide range of sea kayaking environments. Although this chapter is filmed in tide races, the techniques shown can be useful in most rough water situations. Given the fast-flowing environment of a tide race, however, problem avoidance is arguably more important than simply having a well-practiced rescue. Tide races form where the flow of water is squeezed around a headland or over a shallow rocky area. They create great playgrounds for sea kayakers, but they're potentially hazardous places that need to be treated with care. The sudden change in sea conditions can put sea kayakers in situations beyond their abilities and their experience. Many tide races have zones of fast, rough water with returning eddies behind obstructions. You'll need to learn to read this water so you can begin to anticipate the effect the conditions will have on your kayak. From a safe zone, it's a good idea to look carefully at the different elements of a tide race to identify fast areas of rough water and calmer eddies. You can then start to plot your course through these features. It's a good idea to carefully consider your approach to a tide race. Try to shape a course that gives you choices and options as you get closer to the rough water. You may not like the challenge of the conditions ahead, so it's important to be able to turn and go back before committing to the tide race. Good group control, with everyone close together, will make this a more effective strategy. It's also important to check conditions downstream. Many tide races form in areas of the coastline where the sea state can change dramatically. Be particularly cautious if the tide race takes you into areas of even rougher water. You may find the calmer waters above a tide race quickly developing into rougher conditions as the water is squeezed past the headland. Be very cautious if the paddling area downstream is more exposed to wind and swell. If conditions are calmer downstream, check that you can shape a course safely through the rough water. It's really important to make sure that your plan includes an escape route at the end of a training session in a tide race. If your onward journey takes you downstream, then you need to know that conditions are acceptable further along the coastline. If your plan is to work your way back upstream, then you need to be sure that there's safer and calmer water close inshore. Try to move through the rough water from safe zone to safe zone, aiming for quieter areas of water. Check downstream for suitable routes through the waves, and pick a course that all group members can deal with. Be very wary of trips that require you to paddle up against tide races. You might be in for a long wait if you can't make the move. When you're paddling with groups in tide races, it's really important to match the challenge of the conditions against the ability of the group. If everybody's good enough to paddle in the tide race at the same time, that's fine. But if conditions require you to limit the number of people in the fast water, then you need to make sure that you take steps to achieve that. If you've stopped to play at a tide race, it's possible to control the numbers of paddlers in the roughest water. But if you're travelling through the race and on around the headland, you may have no choice but to lead the whole group together. You need to be sure that conditions are suitable for the ability of the party. When you're working in tide races, visibility and line of sight can be a real challenge. So as leaders, we need to think about where we're going to place ourselves. Often it's a good idea to be a short distance down the tide race, on the eddy line, so that you're well positioned to move into the fast water to make any rescues, but you're also able to keep an eye on the rest of the group that may be sitting in the eddy. If you're working with another leader in a tide race, it's vital that you communicate and discuss your plans. If your partner's working further downstream, it's really important to keep line of sight so you can monitor the effectiveness of any rescues that take place.
So there you have it, a few tips around planning, approach, route choice, communications and teamwork. Tide races are exciting places to paddle and a lot of fun. These few safety principles go a long way to keeping you and your paddling team safe. So get out there, enjoy your adventures and learn from each experience. If you found this video useful, you can access all 4 hours of high quality sea kayak instructional chapters by directly purchasing them via our Kayak Essentials website or by joining our Essential membership service, which gives you access to a huge range of videos, articles, podcasts and webinars covering technical skills, navigation tools, leadership principles and coaching issues. At £3.60 per month, we think it's pretty good value. You'll find further information in the members area of our Kayak Essentials website.